Welcome to the road to 1 million US dollars. Let's get right into the Bitcoin chart for today, starting on this 4-hour time frame for Bitcoin, where we are still seeing this bearish divergence play out in the charts on the 4-hour time frame. Now, in the case that you're not familiar with what a bearish divergence is, basically it is when we have higher highs in the Bitcoin price and lower highs in the RSI momentum indicator. And usually this indicates that we are going to see a break from all of this bullish price action that we saw here recently. So most likely we will either see some choppy sideways price action or potentially some bearish momentum in the short term. And that choppy sideways price action is exactly what we have seen so far since confirming this bearish divergence here. Although if we actually take a look at the overall trend on this 4-hour time frame, obviously so far this remains to be a bullish trend. And as I have said many times over the last couple of days, so long as we keep holding above 62,000 US dollars in the Bitcoin chart here, then I remain to be bullish, and I would say so far so good. And even if we first get some choppy sideways price action, at some point I am expecting a continuation to the upside. Although in the case that we actually lose 62K as a level of support, in that case, my base expectation is that we would be going lower after that. For example, down to this Fibonacci golden pocket sitting between 60.2K and about 60.6K, because I do think that this should act as a short-term level of support. Now, obviously, over the last couple of days, I sent out some warning signals and people were saying in the comments that I was getting it completely wrong. But so far, to me, it looks like this played out exactly as expected. And I think it is completely fair to say that a bearish divergence is a warning signal in the charts, because as I said, typically you get a break from the bullish price action that you have been seeing before that time. So even though so far we have only seen choppy sideways price action, that doesn't mean that it isn't a warning signal nonetheless. Next, taking a look at the bigger support and resistance levels for Bitcoin. Currently, we are still getting rejected from this big level of resistance, sitting from about 65,000 all the way up to 66,000. Although at the same time, we are still breaking out from this downtrend that Bitcoin was in recently. Either way, below the current price, we do have this big level of support sitting from 62.4K all the way down to 60,000 US dollars for the Bitcoin price. And as I said, if we lose 62K as a level of support, then I think it is very likely that we go to the bottom of this big level of support here, again sitting at around 60K. One thing that should be noted though is that over the last couple of days, I talked about this hidden bearish divergence that looked something like this. However, after that, we have now seen a daily candle close equally as high as this previous high right here. So it is quite unfortunate that we haven't made a higher high in the Bitcoin price here, because if we made a higher high in the Bitcoin price, then we would completely rule out the possibility of a bearish divergence here, because right now we have a higher high in the RSI and we would have a higher high in the price, in which case there's no divergence whatsoever. However, in this case, we have now made an equal high in the Bitcoin price, and we have a higher high in the daily RSI, making this an exaggerated bearish divergence, which is again not a regular bearish divergence, but it is a bearish divergence nonetheless. Now, if we actually get that confirmed daily candle close above this previous high here, then it completely rules out the possibility for a bearish divergence. But right now, we still have this exaggerated bearish divergence, and this could potentially be signaling a reversal here in the Bitcoin price. However, do keep in mind that so long as we hold above 62K, I do think it is likely that we will just keep going higher here in the Bitcoin price. Now, the last time we had an exaggerated divergence, it was actually this exaggerated bullish divergence here, which confirmed at around 53 to 54,000 US dollars. Because we had horizontal lows and we had higher lows in the RSI momentum indicator again on this daily time frame. And that time it was actually the exact bottom for Bitcoin, which we called out perfectly at around 53 to 54K. And I'm not saying that I'm some kind of market genius or anything like that, but at the same time, I do think we should just stay objective here with the technical analysis. And to me, this just looks like potentially an exaggerated bearish divergence is about to confirm, which again is indicating either some choppy sideways price action or potentially some bearish momentum on the 1-day time frame. Next, moving on to the Bitcoin liquidation heat map. First of all, on the 48-hour time frame, right here you can see by this liquidation heat map that we've just been seeing some choppy sideways price action because again, we have liquidity to the upside and to the downside. However, most of the liquidity is actually to the downside, sitting at about 62.6K. Now, in the case that you're not familiar with these Bitcoin liquidation heat maps, typically the Bitcoin price gets attracted to where there is the most liquidity in this chart. So potentially in the immediate short term here, we could see a move down to this level to sweep about $200 million worth of Bitcoin long positions that would get liquidated if the Bitcoin price reaches this level here. And if we zoom out to the 2-week time frame, you can see again that we have a lot of liquidity as low as about 62.3K. And we have a lot of liquidity sitting at about 57.2K as well. So again, to just look at this objectively, guys, on this 2-week time frame, this is seriously indicating that we shouldn't rule out the possibility of a move down lower. Lastly, taking a look at the Bitcoin ETF flow tables for today. Yesterday, we saw another net inflow of about $136 million, which is another massive inflow into the Bitcoin ETFs. And of course, as I have been saying pretty much every day here for the last 2 weeks, so long as the Bitcoin ETFs keep buying hundreds of millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin every single weekday, likely this is going to have an upwards pressuring effect on the Bitcoin price. So that is just something to keep in mind. Either way, this has been today's market update. Thank you very much for watching. Once again, I quickly want to thank you guys for 6,000 subscribers on the channel here. And I'm also quite proud of making 200 videos back to back here. So making a video every single day for the past 200 days. And the community has already grown so much. There's now 6,000 people watching on YouTube and close to 2,000 of you inside the Road to 1 Million Discord community. And so far, it has just been a blast. I've been so thankful to have met a lot of you guys, and I'm just humbled that you guys tune in every single day to watch these videos and, leave awesome comments and stuff like that. Of course, there are some comments that are more critical sometimes, but I don't even think that is a bad thing. So genuinely, guys, thank you very much. And let's just keep this streak going. So this one is to another 200 videos on the channel here. Cheers, guys. And I will see you tomorrow in the next one.